Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Amy Howard, and welcome to Maker Monday. This is a day that we set aside to be able to show you how to use some of our products here at a Maker Studio and to create adorable projects. You're going to love today because it's all about dogs. So let's take a glance of just some of the projects that we've done here. This is maybe one of my favorites. The whole idea of being able to have a board that you can create depending on how many dogs you have. This one is a scenario that someone has 4 dogs. So we just used our stencil and then put their name, as you can see, below each one. So how adorable is that, hanging in your mudroom? What a great gift it would be to give to somebody that has a bunch of puppies. Here's another thing that we're going to show you today as far as how to be able to create an adorable piece of art from an old picture frame that you can get that you rescued from Habitat or Goodwill. And this is going to be one that I'm going to go in and add a picture of another dog here. So that way it's just got a silhouette and their name. And then look over here at this treat holder. I'm going to set this down. Look over here at this adorable treat holder. So, you know, you've got a place that you want to be able to have in the kitchen or your mudroom or your laundry room, wherever it is that you keep your treats. And for me, it's got to be loud enough. If they don't come inside, I've got to be able to make this noise to have them come in and get a treat. But how adorable is that? Just to be able to use our chalk art and our gel ink to be able to create an adorable display for your treats. This is a great gift too. Fill these up with some treats, put a big red bow around it, and be able to give it to a friend. Love that. Also, you've got your dog bowls. So our gel ink can be used on metal. So you can see how we've just done this adorable little wording here of Fifi. We love making dog names up. And maybe she's a poodle or he. And then look at this adorable little garbage can. See, these are garbage cans that you can get at Dollar Tree or Dollar General. And they're fairly inexpensive, but it's just a great look to want to be able to personalize with your dog. So maybe this is where you can keep some towels, maybe when they come in from the rain and you need to wipe their feet. Of course, and then we got a little bit more creative, and we even started doing canvas work using our dog stencil. So let me just show you how easy it is to be able to make a piece of art and something that you don't normally think about reusing or repurposing. How many times have we had garage sales or just thrown them away, sadly, where we have picture frames like this because we're looking at the picture itself and we think how ugly it looks. What I want you to do is start looking at the frame itself, looking at the size of it, and if it's utilitarian, and then repurposing it. Because this is a picture frame that had an ugly picture in it, and we painted the outside of the frame with our Rescue Restore paint, which all you have to do is clean it and paint directly on top of it, and then take out the ugly picture. That way you've got a very utilitarian piece of glass that you can turn around and use to do a project like we showed you earlier. So I'm going to set this aside. I want to be able to show you just how easy it is. Now, as we do with all of our Maker Mondays, we put together a special bundle for you. So the bundle has savings, and it has the things together that you can turn around and do this project at home. We talk about the fact at a Maker Studio that our things are curated. We call it curated creativity, because how many times do you go in a big box craft store and you spend $100+ and then when you get home, there's nothing you can do. We have curated it into such a point that we show you all the things you can do, and we bundle it together, give you a great savings, and then that way you can turn around and you've got everything you need to be able to create the projects that we're showing you here today. All right, so in your bundle, you're going to be getting this adorable dog stencil. And you know, the other thing that a lot of people don't realize, these are all our designs, but they're also limited editions. So these aren't around forever. So if you love them, you need to get them, because then that way they may be retired, and that makes them even more valuable. So another thing that you're going to be getting in your bundle is you're going to be getting a black gel ink, you're going to be getting a red gel ink, and a white chalk art. So it's going to be able to allow you to do all these different projects that we've shown you here today. All right, so as you are, if you're watching for the first time, if you're not familiar with the Maker Studio, I'm just going to open this up and just to kind of show you, I've got some cut over here, but you're going to notice that our stencils all come in these little pouches, and it has a backboard in here, but also you're going to see that the stencils are adhesive. You cannot get the look that we get and the detail with our stencils. Like a lot of people use crickets and silhouettes, but we have so much beautiful detail on our designs that it allows you a lot of versatility. Let me see. All right, so I'm gonna pull this apart. Can you see that mesh material? So this is adhesive. It allows you to be able to wash it and use it over and over again. But we're going to be working with this mesh, so you can press the chalk art or the gel ink or even our Rescue Restore paint through that mesh, and it will create the design on the other side. So you might go, I'm not artistic, I can't do that. Yes, you can. This is more about being creative, and I truly believe that everyone is creative. We had a great second Saturday here in Memphis, this past weekend, and if you're not familiar with it, we get together the second Saturday of every month here in our studio. We have an Eventbrite, so you can sign up if this is the first time that you've heard about it and you're in the area. We would love for you to come, and we do projects together and show people just how easy it is to use the products. And I love seeing people that come in going, I'm not creative, I don't know why I'm here. And when they're leaving, they're so jazzed because they made a beautiful project that they're very, very proud of. We call that enjoying the bragging rights. So if you're tuning in, we are live coming to you Central Standard Time. It's 10 o'clock here in Memphis. So if you have questions about the projects that I'm working on, you can ask questions. So I've got Instagram and I've got Facebook over here, so it's now the time that you can ask those. Are we good? Okay.
Susan said, what is the color that you have on your frame, the orange-red color?
This is a red pepper. This is a pepper color. It's a beautiful bright red. I'm going to grab one over here. I want to be able to show you. This is in our Rescue Restore paint. So it's also available on our website. So it's Pick a Pepper. So that way you see just how beautiful and gorgeous it is. But that's what we painted that frame with. All right. So I'm going to take my stencil. I've got one already over here that we've used quite a bit in the studio. And as you can see, depending on what kind of dog you have, you can cut it out if you want to just have it to where you can set up where it's replicated. Maybe if you have a lab and you don't have any other dogs, maybe you just do the lab. But as you can see, we have used this stencil many, many times. The ink will have a tendency to stain the mesh just a little bit, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't still work beautifully. All right, so I'm going to take my gel ink and I'm going to squeeze a little bit out onto my spreader. So in your kit, you're going to get a spreader. Want to make sure that you put the top back on it. All right, I'm going to grab my glasses. I always do a lot better when I have my glasses. And I'm just going to come back like this.
Mary asked, how can I find a maker studio in my area?
So Mary, right now, our product line is distributed through makers that have their websites. So you can just go to amakerstudio.com, and that's makers is plural, and you can find a maker in your area. We are in all 50 states of the United States, but that way you can kind of peruse it and see what it looks like and see the products, and any one of them will help you. So I'm just going to lift that up, and I just realized when I was doing the other project, I actually did it in white. So let me pull this and show you. I actually did these in chalk art, and once it dries down, the cool thing about it is if you want to be able to change it out and use it to be able to do a different piece of art, all you have to do is wipe it off. If you're not familiar with the chalk art, it allows you to be able to do artwork like this. It doesn't smear and it's more permanent, but if you want to just take a wet rag, you can wipe it off and start all over again. All right, the ink is just a little bit different, and I'm going to show you how you can use the ink on fabric. So these are little tea towels that we get at Target, and you can also get them online on Amazon, and they'll usually run about 40 or 50 cents a piece if you buy a dozen of them. And these make adorable little bandanas for dogs. So if you see the picture that we showed you of Disco, that's Danielle's dog that works here, they can be adorable. Again, great gifts. But that's all this is. This is just a regular little tea towel that we got at Target. And I want to show you how you can do the same thing with our gel ink. So I'm going to grab just a little bit more of my red. You want to make sure that you have it pressed down on this fabric. So I'm going to come in here and push it. As I'm spreading it, I am pushing it through that mesh material to make sure that it gets into the fabric. The other thing that you want to be careful of is that you don't get too much ink. And the good thing about this is permanent. How cute would it be to do a baseball cap and just put maybe your puppy dog on that baseball cap? Do we have a baseball cap I can show them? I know it's in a word, it's not in the puppy, but I thought, how cute would that be? Especially, you know, there are a lot of people that raise dogs. My daughter actually raises, English bulldogs, and Frenchies, little Frenchies. But how cute would it be? Now here's a cap that we did. We actually used the word explore on here. But you could totally put your dog here, especially if you're into one particular breed. We love all puppies, but that way you could do the breed of your dog on this cap with their name. How cute would that be? All right, so I'm just coming in here. You want to make sure, look how I'm holding it with my left hand and I'm pressing it through with my right.
Susan said, how do you preserve the gel ink after you put it on the ball cap?
That is such a good question. All right, Susan, so when you do the ink, just like this, as I'm spreading it out, wanting to make sure, see how I'll kind of reposition how I'm spreading it, because I want to stay away from this edge. I do not want to get it on my towel. See how I'm just going back in and applying this. After it dries about 2 hours, you want to make sure it dries at least 2 hours. Just keep it laying there. You want to make sure that you clean your stencil, which I'm going to get some water in just a second. I'm going to show you how to clean it. You want to allow it to dry to the touch about 2 hours. More is fine too. And then I want you to take another one of these tea towels and a very hot iron, no steam. And I want you to heat set it. So once this is dry, you'll place the towel on top of it. And then I want you to take the second tea towel, put on top of it, and then run the iron, the really hot iron, over it. I prefer for it to be at least 225 to 250 degrees, no steam, and that sets the ink permanently into the fibers of your tea towel, your baseball cap, your t-shirt. You could totally make t-shirts. I mean, I just totally think how people love having their puppies on everything. Now, I can see right here that I got a little bit of an area. I'm going to take, before this has a chance to dry, I'm going to take a little bit of our furniture cleaner and I'm going to wipe that off and it'll come right off. I've got to be careful to do it fairly quickly, but I'm going to let this dry about 2 hours and then I'm going to heat set it. So let me show you. I've got just a container here of regular tap water, and I'm going to pop my stencil into this water just like this. And I've got a natural sponge. You can use any type of sponge. And look how I'm just going to clean it like this. And that will get the paint or the chalk art or the gel ink off of your stencil. And then what I want you to do, this is the adhesive side, as you can kind of tell, it's going to be much shinier. Let me set this down. And then I want you to be sure and set it up, the adhesive side up. The reason for that is I want it to be able to dry without that sticky side sitting down on your kitchen countertop. And I would rather you not set it down on a paper towel. There's a lot of fibers in paper towels, and that can get into your adhesion of your stencil, and it's gonna make it to where it won't stick as well the next time. So when you are using it on fibrous materials, like doing napkins or t-shirts and things like that, it will have a tendency to get into the stencil, but that's why a lot of times I'll use my left hand and I'll come in and just work with it as far as making sure that it sticks on. All right, so one more thing. I think I've got a dog bowl here. I want to just kind of show you. That's wet, so I'm going to stick that aside. So you can cut these up. Now on this stencil, it's a little bit different. Let's look at it again because it doesn't have any lines on it. Most of our stencils have lines on them, so it shows you where you can cut them. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So like on this one where we have an alphabet, it'll have these little lines and you can cut them and keep these bags and put these letters back in the bags. That way it keeps them all together. But in a situation like this, we're going to be showing you probably this week. Part of the reason why I did it really large like this is because I wanted to be able to use it on a wall. I had seen a mudroom where it was like a very expensive wallpaper, and it had all different breeds of dogs on it. And I thought, how cute would that be coming in the back door? So the cool thing is, what a lot of people don't realize, you can use our chalk art on walls and enjoy it, and then that way when you're tired of it and you want to be able to do something else, all you have to do is take a wet rag and wipe it off. So how fun would it be to have your wall as just a decorated area to be able to have your puppies on? Okay, so I'm just going to show you using the black ink how I can cut this up and get another dog. Are we okay? I think I love the versatility of all the projects. So span again, if somebody's just tuning in, if you would, my camera people, just kind of span some of the projects and let them see the dog treat bowl and our mugs, and think about all the fun gifts that you can make for people that are big time dog lovers. You know, and too, a lot of you that watch are you're crafters in the fact that you have shops that you sell on Etsy or eBay or another venue. Maybe if you do craft shows, this is a great gift to make. People are going to come and they're going to look at the different breeds that you have, and if you have their breed, more than likely they're going to buy it if their dog's on it. That's just the way people are. All right, let me cut this off. I know Jean's that way. If anything has a Cavalier King Charles on it, he's going to buy it. All right, so see how I've just cut my stencil like this? That's why it's so great to be able to have the adhesion to it. And I'm just going to come back with my black ink and my spreader. Now you'll notice in this bundle that you get, you're going to get the black ink, you're going to get the red ink, you're going to get the Peace and Joy white chalk art, and you're also going to get this adorable dog stencil and a spreader. So the spreader that you're going to get is going to be large. So when you see me working with these smaller ones, all I've done is cut it up. So that way you could create 3 different spreaders with this. A lot of times if you're working on a smaller area, it's just easier to be able to do. Now you're going to notice on some of these, we also did names. Look at this other bowl over here. I think that was Fifi's bowl. See how we actually put a name on there? So we have an alphabet stencil. It's not included in this bundle, but it's definitely one that you could get if you want to personalize it. That would allow you to be able to write any name on it. And I love the fact that they're all lowercase. It looks adorable. All right, so I'm just going to lift this up. I want to make sure that that has a chance to dry. Can you even see the detail on that? Look at the little bitty details of his hair, like it's hanging down. How cute is that?
Brooke wants to know, does the gel ink need to be set on the metal bowl?
It's really not possible to be able to set it because you can't put a metal bowl into the microwave. So what we tell people, after it has a chance to bond, You can just wash it by hand, and that way it'll last. If you have any problems, if it scrapes off, or you just put the stencil back on there, and that way you can use the ink again. The ink is formulated to be permanent on anything fabric, so you can use it on t-shirts. That's why we did the dog bandana. You could do a cute little dog sweater. You could, anything like that you want it to be on fabric. So that's why we do napkins and tea towels and baseball caps and clothes. But on products like this, whether it's metal or maybe resin or plastic, you just want to be able to wash it with hand wash it with some soap. That way it's going to last a lot longer and be adorable. So hopefully today just was fairly simple. We wanted to show you the versatility of this dog stencil, how many different projects that you could do. And again, like this particular leash holder that we have, as far as just taking a regular board, you can even create this in your wall. These are removable. So if you wanted to be able to use the chalk art on this and to be able to hang these up just on your mudroom or your back door, it doesn't have to be on a board. You could actually do it on the wall, and then that way if you don't like it, you can wipe it off. But it would be best to stay with chalk art on all of this, because in this bundle you are going to get a white chalk art, and that's what we used on this. So whether you want to make a treat bowl, whether you're going to make a new water bowl or a mug or a trash can to be able to use in your dog room, or even a piece of art, it's sure to impress all of your friends. So now, get this bundle, share with us, do hashtag a maker studio so we can see all the projects that you do and how you use your creativity to make them really different and unusual, because it's your turn to enjoy the bragging rights. Have a great week, everybody.